2024. The day is finally here. There's so much anticipation. Will Phil see his shadow or not? And either way, let me tell you, the party is on here in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. You can hear the crowd. I'm sure you can hear it. It's so loud. That's why I have these earphones on. Look at everyone dancing and shouting and jumping and waving. There's light up signs that say Phil. Everyone's got their Phil hats on. It is such a great, fun atmosphere here in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. I cannot even begin. This is one of those moments, like Phil Connor says, that TV can't capture what it's like to show you what a groundhog is going to say on television. I don't know that this can be captured. That's how much fun is being had here today. All these people, thousands, if not even tens of thousands, have come out in the middle of the night to find out what Phil has to say about the winter. Will it be 6 more weeks or an early spring? I'll tell you what, it's got to be one of the most anticipated forecasts ever. And we all know that, well, either way, this is literally the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring solstice. So there is 6 more weeks. It doesn't matter. This crowd is going to enjoy it, I think, either way. The prognostication comes out winter or spring. Everybody is, for the most part, wishing for spring, but it feels like spring right now. So if this is winter, give me more, right? Temperatures are in the upper 30s. I don't need gloves. I tell you, this is a great, great weather situation for us here in Punxsutawney. Now, there's no snow on the ground, which is a little unusual. Usually there is, but they put hay down, so everyone's very comfortable standing, and it's just so much fun. People are having a blast. Let's go back to Alex Wilson and find out what everyone has to say about Groundhog Day 2024.
Jen, you're right. This is so much fun, especially as a Pennsylvanian, but everybody can agree that this is just a good time. And seeing is believing when you're here in person. Like TV, it looks like fun. In person, it's a heck of a lot of fun. So we are way, way back. You can see the stage way down there. So that's where Jen is. This is where the Inner Circle guys are going to start their trek in a matter of moments. So they're in their clubhouse. They're getting ready, I assume, like straighten those hats, making sure everything's ready to go. They're going to make their walk down. Obviously, the procession starts, and then the festivity starts, and then Phil makes his prognostication. You know, I know Jen has been very much Team Spring, and I'm very fully Team Winter. This year, I feel extremely outvoted, and I don't know if that's because people this year just hate winter, or that winter this year has felt a whole lot like spring, and that very much could be the deal. By the way, this is one of the iconic spots here at Gobbler's Knob where everybody likes to get their picture taken. You can see some folks taking pictures now. Where are you guys in from?
We are from Punxsutawney.
You are from Punxsutawney. What is this like to have hundreds of thousands of people, I feel like, come in, or at least tens of thousands of people come in and like take over your town?
I mean, it's great. Everybody's welcome. We have tourism is a big part of Punxsutawney.
Yeah, you like it? Do you come every year then?
Not every year, but
you're like, sometimes in Punxsutawney we even appreciate sleeping in.
yes.
After this winter, we've been talking about how mild it is pretty much this morning. What are you hoping for?
I mean, if it's
You don't care. You're like,
Spring
6
right
more
around
weeks
the
of winter. It
corner.
feels like this anyway.
Early spring.
I love a definitive diva. Thank you so much. Reynolds, we're going to head back over to you. I don't know where your feelings lie, but Reynolds, I know you are also a definitive diva.
Absolutely. Oh, you know me better than anybody.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm
100%.
a Team Winter. I am Team Winter all the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I feel seen.
Yeah, I like weather to be in its lane, and more importantly, I don't want you to feel alone. All right, folks, we're all in this together, especially when it comes to the severe weather that we can expect across Southern Plains. Got a lot of people that need to keep your head on a swivel for what may be unfolding in the atmosphere over the next several hours and days. For today, here's your setup. This is basically your chessboard, atmospherically speaking, what you can expect. Got that area of low pressure, but wait. There's more. Ahead of it, you got the moisture that's coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and you can tell that it is definitely stacked out there. Now, the last 3 hours, these numbers, what a contrast you'll find in places like Amarillo and back in Dodge City. But you get to do parts of the central and, well, southern parts of Texas, especially southeast Texas, that moisture is much higher. And this is what could happen later on today. A little bit of daytime heating, all that energy, and we could have some rough times out there. Now, keep in mind, especially towards San Angelo, west of Bexar County. You've got a lot of farm-to-market roads with those low water crossings. They've got like those measuring devices next to them. And for 3 seasons out of the year, you don't have a problem at all. All that's going to be turned on its head. And also, remember that time where in parts of East Texas and certainly into Louisiana, in Mississippi for that matter, where you could not buy a drop of rainfall? That is changing in a very, very big way. And it starts off, I would say, as you get to midday today, in the form of some scattered showers. But notice what happens, almost like a chemical reaction in the atmosphere. Boom, really begins to fire up as indicated by the reds here or there, almost right along parts of the 35 corridor. And these things skedaddle, make their way through. A secondary batch forms right behind it. So with that, ground getting saturated, or even just in the situation where you have that sandy loam soil or that caliche out towards the west, won't take much to cause some flooding. Now, in San Antonio, it's going to sound like artillery fire out by the Alamo when you get to 9 o'clock. Out by the Riverwalk, it is going to be coming down in buckets. You get a break in the action, and certainly in the early morning hours, we have it rush on through, and then we have the drier air that gets a hold, I'd say, by mid-morning in places like San Antonio. And now in Houston, out by the NASA complex at 2 o'clock in the morning, boom, the showers move through. And Sugarland, you've got weather that's not going to be too sweet. As we wrap it up, Jim, look at this. Moving towards Beaumont, possibly some strong storms with a lot of wind, straight line winds that can be detrimental too. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah, you know, when the model puts something like that out, you got to take notice.
Always.
Good stuff there, Reynolds, in terms of the analysis. Let's go into what we got going on in the southeast, because some of that, whether it produces severe weather or not, is going to, once again, get rid of more of our drought, and we have made major inroads here. Let's go back to January 1st. All right, just kind of reset this thing for you. We got absolutely crushed in January. You remember there was 6 named storms out there, one right after the other, and each one of them was like a big scoop, and it absolutely hammered this area where the worst drought is. So you really couldn't set it up better than that. So as we show you from January 1st to now February 1st, look at what's happened to this drought. We've whittled away at it from the edges in, right? Still, even as of the 26th, we had a lot of exceptional drought out there, especially in Louisiana and Mississippi. But now look, poof, just like that, it's gone. All right, because of what's happened with rainfall, and there'll be more added to that with next week's drought monitor too. Not surprising when you go look at the month as a whole. This is January I'm talking about. Houston, fourth wettest all time, 5th wettest at Shreveport. Austin, 5th wettest, San Antonio, 2nd wettest, and you're talking about amounts 6 to 12 inches of rain just in the month alone. And I can tell you right now, up in Blue Ridge, Georgia, I had about 7 inches in my gauge. So there's a lot of rainfall in a widespread area from Texas all the way into western Appalachia, where, once again, we get a chance to flood through here because the ground is so wet. All right, so Monroe, Alexandria, Houma, Louisiana, some of the least amount of rain fell in southeastern Louisiana. But as we overlay the current drought and the forecast, notice who gets the bonus here coming up as we head in toward this weekend. 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe even a little bit more in a few spots. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Steph, over to you.
Well, let's talk about the atmospheric river flowing into the west, swamping Southern California. A couple events coming through. Record rain yesterday in Los Angeles, 2.37. Long Beach, 2.43. Mammoth Mountain digging out from a foot of snow with plenty more. Pow Pow expected. Look how bad that is, the flooding. And it's only going to get worse, by the way, because this next atmospheric river and system coming in is going to have greater impacts than that one right there. Look at all the reports we had, not only in Southern California, but around Central California. Rain, and by the way, we can't forget the wind. That's going to kick up the surf. That's going to pound the coast. That could take out power down trees. And a lot of these areas get 2, 3, maybe 4 inches of rain for the whole month. Southern California, a lot of these spots get 2 inches for the whole month. So we're seeing a month's worth, half a month's worth, but we are going to see multiple months worth coming in with our next one. Kind of a smattering of weather today. It actually gets a little bit better into our Saturday, and then Sunday we kick back in. So mainly cloudy, some light rain here and there, still flood alerts for us. And there's the system we're dealing with right now. There's the surface low associated with it. And over the past 7 days, notice right along the coast, that's where we've had the heaviest rain, and that's where we will actually continue to see the biggest flood threat. But here's our next system coming in, and I'll tell you what, there's a counterclockwise flow around a low, so that southerly flow, it is going to be persistent, it's going to be nonstop, and it is going to continue day after day after day. So all the way through our Wednesday, we have that threat of flooding, and it is likely that you will see excessive rainfall that will lead to flooding. Anywhere you see the yellow, and again, closer to the coast is where you'll have those heaviest totals. 8 to 12, I mean, LA, we're in that 3 to 5, maybe 5+ inches of rain. And the problem with that is it's all going to be coming in a very short amount of time, and it's not going to stop, so you don't get a break. And then where that cold air, I mean, where the moisture hits the cold air at higher elevation, we're talking 5, even 6+ feet of snow. Great news, because right now we're about 50% of where we should be by this time of year. Sunday, it comes into California, also into Nevada. The winds as well will pick up. That spreads north and east. And Jim, it just doesn't stop. I mean, it is day after day after day. And then on Thursday, we get another little piece of energy coming in.
Yeah, it really doesn't stop. And then when it does, another one reloads quickly. All right, guys, the question on everybody's mind today, will there be 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring? Only one groundhog knows the answer to that. We take you live to Gobbler's Knob. Meteorologist Jen Carfagno from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Now, Jen, I've been watching you since this started. I'm predicting right now that you've changed your hat, what, 7 times? How close am I?
At least. Every block.
At least.
Yeah, about 7 or 8. I've got one more to go.
Awesome.
Jim, this crowd, I think it's the biggest. I mean, you and I were here one year when the temperature was warm like this. I remember wearing just like a light rain jacket. This is fantastic. The people are so excited. No one's cold and kind of huddled together. Everyone's just dancing and singing and shouting. It is an amazing crowd. I love it so much.
To see you without gloves is a testament to that. To see you without gloves is a testament to that.
And I took off my heated vest. I mean, there's so many things. I do want to check in with Alex, though, and hear more about what's happening at the back of the crowd. Alex.
It's going to happen. We can see some top hats here off in the distance. So the one benefit to being really far from the stage is that you get the first glimpse of the inner circle guys here as they gather under the arch, and then they're going to make their way down, obviously, then get Phil out of his burrow. But we've got the whole crew ready. It's like a football entrance, like when they enter for the NFC and AFC championships. It's going to be like that, but better. So they're making the announcements, I think, now down where Jen is. So they're waiting on their cue to start walking. Obviously, you can see how big the crowd is. Jen was talking about how mild it is. It's also a Friday, so I think a lot of people made the trip out to Punxsutawney, whether they're from here in Pennsylvania, whether they're from somewhere else across the country, or whether they've come in from an international destination. I mean, people are coming in from other countries to do this. So this is a huge deal. And these are the men of the hour. Behind, obviously, okay, so star is Phil. But these guys are like, again, the backup singers to the, the number one artist. So they are the people that we are super psyched to see. So Lauren, our awesome photographer, is giving us a glimpse. I'm trying to see like who's in front. It's hard because they're silhouetted like true rock stars, as they should be. The president's going to be the one who's going to actually do the speaking with the groundhog. Okay, here they come. All right, so you are looking at, I feel like we should call this the March of the Top Hats, and they are guided by Pennsylvania state troopers. So again, it's kind of a big deal.
I hope they let me through.
This is dignified. Okay, here is the president. Happy Groundhog Day! We made it! Yay! Are you guys excited? Yeah. All right, let's do this. Hello. I feel so cool. Happy Groundhog Day. Hey, happy Groundhog Day. Let's do this. Are you ready? Is he ready?
Oh, he's ready.
Oh, amazing. That's his handler. Locked in. All right. Happy Groundhog Day. Hey. Hello. Happy Groundhog Day.
How are you?
Great. All right, let's do this. I'm going to follow these guys down to the stage. Oh, the crowd is pumped. They want Phil. You guys ready for Phil? Early spring. Winter. What do you want? Spring. Winter. What do we want?
We want spring.
Or winter. What do we want? We want Phil. I know, but let's go. Spring or winter? Spring. All right. Spring or winter? Spring. Hey, everybody. Happy Groundhog Day. Love your hat. Spring or winter? 6 more weeks. All right, let's do it. This is very exciting. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody! Happy Groundhog Day! Sergeant Dolman, come back!
Frostbite. Yes. All right. Downdraft. Iceman. We got Iceman. We got Iceman.
I know you're.
Oh, we've got Alex. In the Trek. Oh, okay. This is a special time.
I know. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I'm so excited. All right, so the inner circle is up on stage. They're surrounding the stump. And we'll hear from the president of the Groundhog Club. He's the one that wakes up Phil and the only one that speaks Groundhogese. Do you see a few drops?
Yeah, it seemed like there was like a little like snizzle up at the top of the hill. Whatever it is,
I don't know
light.
what that means for shadow or no shadow. We will see.
I feel like Phil does what he wants regardless.
So, you know, the sunshine is real here in spirits.
Absolutely. And so the president is on the mic. The fireworks are going. It's happening. What do you think? I think we got early spring this year. That's my feel.
I'm optimistic. Really, only Phil knows.
What a huge crowd! How many
Are we gonna
guests
listen
do
in?
we have checking
Let's listen
with
in.
us for the very first time? How many have checked 2 or more times? Nice, welcome back. How about 5 or more times? Wow. 10 or more times? How about 20? Well, welcome back. We love you coming to Groundhog Day. Woo. How many groups do we have here today celebrating somebody's Groundhog Day birthday? Woo, happy birthday. Mr. Vice President.
Yes, sir.
Dan McGinley Moonshine.
Yes, sir.
Will you please introduce the members of the Inner Circle?
My pleasure. Good Friday morning to you all. Is it still Friday? I do want to talk to you about the gentleman that stand before you, but before we do that, we have some dignitaries that I would like to make mention of. First of all, Senator Joe Pittman, Representative Brian Smith, Commissioners Jeff Pisarcik and Scott North, our Mayor Richard Alexander, of course our Attorney General Michelle Henry, and the Governor of Pennsylvania. He keeps showing up and we keep welcoming him.
We've been here since 3 in the morning. So we've been here since yesterday.
As for my buddies in the top hats, I want to start over here because he's been on stage with me since 3 a.m. Give it up. He's gone through at least 2 tuxedo shirts already today. Give it up for the Thunder conductor, Dr. Dave Gelati. This is the Butch and Butch part of the show. First up, former member, Cold Front, Butch Brushnok. And the other Butchie, you can be his wingman. No, he can be yours. This is Iceman, Butch Philibert. Give it up for the big man, Rob McCoy, Downpour. Josh Farkas is Frostbite. It's fitting that we say hello to Jory Siriann. He's Daybreaker. Robbie Gemmell is Storm Builder. The guy standing way up there is Dr. John Johnson, Chief Health Man. Also with us this morning was Jason Grusky, Big Chill. Well, he's seated at the left hand of the father. The future is clear, but Jay Lundy is overcast. Former president, give it up for Jeff Lundy, fair weather man. Pat Cassidy is the head huntsman. And Pat Osakowicz, ozone. And I know you've been waiting patiently, so for our ceremony, give it up. Your friend, our friend, his handler, Mr. AJ DeRoom, Rainmaker. And heavy weighs the Acacia Cane, the president of the Groundhog Club Inner Circle is Tom Dunkel, Jingle Shaker.
I want to talk about this cane is handed down from president to president. My father once held this very cane as president of the Inner Circle. This cane gives me the ability to speak groundhogese. That's how I communicate with Phil, through winks, nods, purrs. And Phil's gonna let me know which scroll to choose. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen up here today. I'm going to take this cane and I'm going to knock on the burrow door 3 times. And his handler, AJ DeRoom, will gently lift Phil from his burrow and hold him high for all to see. He will then place Phil upon the stump, where Phil and I will have a little talk about whether he sees his shadow or not. If it's his shadow he sees, 6 more weeks of winter there will be. If there's no shadow, early spring. Daybreaker, please place the royal red carpet. Mr. Vice President, please place the scrolls upon the stump. Gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? It's a tradition. Before we get Phil out, we get him fired up by chanting, Phil, 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 Phil.
Stanley up.
Ready? It's Punxsutawney Phil! Gentlemen, gather round. Okay, we have a decision.
A prediction has been made, Mr. President. Hear ye, hear ye. Now on this February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of all prognosticators, was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed the president to the proper scroll, which reads, "Another winter's slumbered pause so I could meet the crowd. Hard to sleep anyway when the party's this loud. I envy your energy. I envy the fun. I envy all of you and your opposable thumbs. But it's not what I feel, it's what I see and what you hear, so gather round and let me be clear. Atmosphere is a wonderful thing, and we can create our own and the weather it brings. It brings hope for the future and so much more. Maybe some Punxsutawney Phil write-in votes in 2024. But what this weather did not provide is a shadow or reason to hide. Glad tidings on this Groundhog Day. An early spring is on the way.
Awful. Travesty.
Tell the world, the news is here.
So you may come.
If you would like a photograph on stage with Punxsutawney Phil in the inner circle, we'll probably do it for as long as Phil will let us. You'll come up this side of the stage, and you'll exit that
Spring,
side.
everything seems to be, the stars are aligning, and it seemed like
you could feel
that was the way it was going to go. And honestly, the crowd was voting. Last year it was very 50-50. This year, not even close. Early spring was like 90% of the votes.
It definitely felt, I mean, you could feel it, though, in the crowd, the energy, the spring energy that was out here.
I mean, we feel the spring energy now. I'm like losing the mittens. You don't have gloves, and you're a cold person, or like a person who's normally cold.
Right.
So, like, the fact that we're warm here on February 2nd says something.
Yes. No, I think Phil felt it. I think Phil felt the warmth. I'm looking up at the sky, and, you know, it's mainly cloudy, but you can make a case for occasional breaks. So I feel like it's a little lucky. This is, I don't know, a groundhog miracle, really, to get
You're
an
having
early
a big
spring.
day. You have an
I've
early
got
spring.
the top
You're
hat.
an honorary top hat member. Like, are you going to buy a lottery ticket
I
today?
might cry.
I know, right? Like, this has been a big day. Oh, and speaking of the man himself,
And here comes Phil. All right, Phil.
AJ, of
Early
course,
spring.
and Phil.
How you feeling it, AJ? How's Phil doing today?
Seems to be doing great. He was awake when I opened the doors, which was a first. He wasn't sleeping, so I guess hibernating is not in his thoughts today.
I feel like he's ready. He looks like he's warm. His coat looks ready for the spring. Like he's ready to come out and start shedding and, you know, enjoy the season.
What's that?
He's ready to enjoy the season. Are you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for spring.
What comes next for Phil tomorrow?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
Rest. Phil will have to rest.
Yeah.
Big day for him.
Yeah.
I think he's smiling for the camera.
I believe so.
So fun. Oh, we're excited. Thank you.
Happy Groundhog
His
Day.
handler and Rainmaker. Happy Groundhog Day.
Banana and kale for Phil.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The crowd definitely wanted to pay Phil off, I feel like, for that. By the way, your top hat fell off.
Oh.
But don't worry, we got you.
You caught it. Put that back on. So I'm wearing double hats today.
You are.
So now, I don't know if we explained how this works. Like everybody had to take the school buses. There's no school on Groundhog Day in Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
And everyone took school buses up up here because the parking.
Right.
And then they have to take the bus back.
There are a lot of like really fun things that happen in Punxsutawney that really only happen in Punxsutawney. No school. We keep Christmas decorations up through February 2nd because now like he's made his prognostication. We're ready to move on.
Yes.
We can do that. And like this place is going to get pretty quiet, but everybody moves downtown and the party continues.
The party continues, although everyone's going to be waiting in line now to take their picture with Punxsutawney Phil.
Oh, 100%. The line is going to be like the longest. You thought it was long to get tickets to an NFL game, to get tickets to like a crazy concert. The Eras Tour has nothing on Phil. Got to get it back to the studio because I know Reynolds and Steph and Cantori would obviously be first in line, right? You guys want that picture?
I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever seen Phil so alert and engaged like that.
And chill.
And I feel like he was smiling. No? Did he look like he was smiling?
Oh no, like his teeth were out. Like he was like he was feeling himself.
Smile. Yeah. I think he's really happy with his prediction.
Oh, because he knows everyone's really happy with him.
Reynolds is crushed this morning.
I have not been this
Reynolds
dejected. I have not been this dejected since going 0 for 4 in slow pitch softball or a bad haircut. That's how it feels like today. I'm Team Winter.
I'm Team Winter. Like, honestly, I wanted long winter too, but like I'm also an Eagles fan, so I'm used to disappointment.
I just want weather, honestly. I just want weather. You know, on a day like this, I just feel like it really couldn't have gone any other way. It is so spring-like out here.
It is. You can't deny how it's been, how it feels. There's no snow on the ground. We flew into Pittsburgh area.
No snow anywhere.
No snow in
sight. Which is unusual. Not at least have old snow, right?
Right, exactly. Like a little like snow-dirt combo. That's even hard to find up here. So I think talking to the locals here in Punxsutawney, they felt very spring-like, and we're just going to keep that trend going.
And people have come in from all over. I talked to Marie from Arizona, and she's 61. She's wanting to come for years. She finally convinced her husband, or I guess it was her friend. Her husband didn't want to come. Her friend came with her, and so they have Arizona weather. So for them, 6 more weeks of winter.
Oh yeah, the Floridians didn't carry there.
Right.
The Floridians are like, we'll take whatever.
Yes. Oh, the president. Do you have a moment? The president
Come
of
on
the
here.
Groundhog Club.
Let me slide over.
So, what did Phil have to say?
Well, he just gave me the winks, the nods, and he said it's going to be an early spring.
Yeah,
it's great.
Do you think the crowd got to him at all? I mean, the crowd has been very much in support of early spring.
It's not by the crowd. He's not influenced whatsoever.
Perfect. I appreciate somebody who could be like, you know what, winter it is.
Right. It's all about the shadow and how he feels, and he felt early spring. So good for him. I enjoyed it.
So you are the president of the Groundhog Club. Your father was the president of the Groundhog Club. You've seen a lot of Groundhog Days. How does this one compare?
I would say this is probably about as big a crowd as we've ever had. It was fantastic, and the energy level was off the charts. You heard him. It was great. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
From the president, what does this mean to the community of Punxsutawney?
It's fantastic. It's a great opportunity to generate tourism and revenue for our community, our region, and the state.
And showcase your town internationally in a very, very positive way today. Everyone is very happy about this prognostication.
When you go to Groundhog Day, you're here for one reason: to have a good time and to be happy. And that's what we get here. Everybody has a great time. So
this has been a marathon of sorts, and now it's a sprint here. What do you do tomorrow?
I relax, and then I'm going to go to the ball. I'm going to wear my finest outfit. My wife is going to dress up in hers, and we're going to go dance the night away.
And then presumably you take your long winter's nap like Phil did, because you guys have been working really hard.
We will, and I hope it's somewhere a little bit warmer than Punxsutawney. So.
I don't know. You got an early spring. Maybe it'll be 60 next week.
We've got 50s coming this week here. Yes, and the events do continue. Thank you for everything.
Yes, thank you so much.
Everyone needs to know that the Inner Circle, really, their families volunteer their time and efforts, and it is a community of volunteers.
It is. The whole community helps, and our wives and the members of the Inner Circle. They're fantastic. They're hard workers, and it's just a great organization. And we're so pleased to have Groundhog Day, and it's right here in Punxsutawney.
And we've been saying, people who watch this on TV, they don't truly get a sense of what it's like until you're actually here. Being part of this is magical.
That's why so many people come back, because it's such a great experience. And the funny thing is, they'll bring somebody with them so that they can share that great experience. So it just continues to grow and grow.
I feel like on behalf of the world, we have to thank you for hosting this great big party and sharing the legend and the lore of Punxsutawney Phil with everyone.
You're so welcome, and we love it. So
And
thank you.
congratulations on such a great event to you.
Well, thank
you guys
so much.
crushed it.
I
So
loved it.
Happy Groundhog Day.
Thank
we'll
you.
let you get that rest.
Thank you. Well, take care.
Yes, very, very exciting, Jen. I mean, the president, he said, this means the most to this community.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
the amount of people that have, tens of thousands easily today.
Easily. And I honestly, I don't think I've ever seen it this big, this crowd.
Even the people who come in before, we talked to so many people who said, oh, we don't actually stay for Groundhog Day, but
Yes.
we come in ahead just to see what's happening in the city on the day beforehand.
Right, and I think a lot of those people, though, with the weather, did decide to come out this morning. A lot of times it's too cold, it's early, you don't want to come out, but everything was pointing in their favor.
We're from Pennsylvania, so we've lived that life,
Yes.
right? Where we're like, do we go? A lot of people from Pennsylvania said, with this forecast, I'm driving.
Yes. And people from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New Jersey. I've met
been
people
huge.
from every state surrounding, and honestly, across